this will be in the biggest and most competitive international basketball tournament in the history of the sport. Obviously, the Americans are bringing the best team they've had since the Redeem team in 2008. The French are absolutely loaded. They have been building towards this for years. We are going to see the French play the U.S. into the future because look at all these French players who are getting drafted high. Wembanyama is on the team and wants the Americans' blood. Dating back to when they played in the juniors and the under-19, he lost to the Americans in the championship game.
That was the Holmgren game, right?
The Holmgren game. Chet was named MVP. Victor fouled out. He has never gotten over it, trust me. The Serbians have a guy named Nikola Jokic who has been off for 2 months, and he will come in there, and he is a beast. The last time they played, the Serbians destroyed the Americans in the World Cup back in China. Then you have the Canadians. The Canadians are loaded. The Canadians are the future of international basketball alongside the Americans. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took the Americans down in the World Cup bronze medal game last year with an incredible performance in overtime. He was the best player at that tournament. They have Jamal Murray. They have Lou Dort. They have R.J. Barrett. They have a bunch of terrific players. All of those teams will qualify, I believe, for the last 8. And you also have Spain potentially playing the Bahamas for a spot. The Bahamas have a bunch of NBA players, including DeAndre Ayton and Naz Reid. So, and if Giannis gets in, anything is possible with Giannis. So we are headed for a great 2 weeks of basketball in France in August.
So the Americans, what did you tell me, Hemba? What is the line? They're still significant favorites.
Massive. They're minus 400, followed by Canada at 9-1, and then Serbia and France are at 10-1.
But you're telling me you think it's going to be very competitive.
Oh my gosh, that round of 8, those are going to be, all of them are going to be incredible wars. I mean, the Americans, by the way, first game out of the chute is against the Serbians. So they will play Jokic. The way the NBA, the way the Olympics are set up, you don't have to go undefeated in pool play. It's kind of like the World Cup. You can survive a loss and move on. The question will be, the Americans are going to have most of these other, by the way, I didn't even mention Germany. Germany is the defending World Cup champions. They beat the Americans last year. Germany has a very good team. Dennis Schroeder turns into, he morphs into like a star while playing he was the MVP of the World Cup last year. I didn't even mention them. Those teams have all got multiple years playing together. This team will be rushed together. So the U.S. Lost to France in the pool play in Tokyo, then came back and beat them in the gold medal game. So very much looking forward to that event. It's going to be a tremendous, tremendous 2 weeks of basketball.
And how important is it to the American players? That's always been one of the things that I wonder. I just looked up. I know anecdotally who the players on the team are, but it's Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, we are sending the best American players to this. How would you quantify how important it is to them?
There's been a rallying cry for this Olympics because of the way things have gone the last few international competitions. I just want to point something out. Between 2007 and 2019, the Americans didn't lose in basketball in any competition. Not World Cup, not Olympics, not the qualifying, whatever. They didn't lost. Since then, I think they've lost 6 times. It's not American complacency that is making this hard. It's the world catching up. Look at all these MVPs. They're all bringing their countries to play in this. The siren call went out. We need our best. One of the biggest recruiting efforts of the last year in basketball was for Joel Embiid. Embiid was from Cameroon. He had already got French citizenship. The French pulled strings to get him a French passport, assuming he was going to play in Paris for them. The Americans' big men were eviscerated in the World Cup last year. We don't have American big men. Go look at your favorite team. Find your big man. Tell me where he's from. It ain't America. So the U.S. spent months recruiting Joel Embiid. He became a U.S. citizen about 18 months ago.
Right.
And he committed to the Americans and infuriated the French. There was a moment this year where the Spurs played the 76ers and Wembanyama turned his back when Embiid walked up to him, and Joel just laughed. There is this bad blood that exists, and that's going to be played in Paris. Embiid is going to get booed by the French fans. All of this exists sort of under the surface in basketball.
I like that. My question then, we'll take a short break here because Wendy's got to go do first take, and we'll ask, who's more upset about Embiid playing for the Americans, the French or the fans of the Philadelphia 76ers? Because I'm not 100% sure that they're going to think that's a particularly good idea either.